Hey Siri, when will the technological singularity take place?
Here's what I found from rbth.com. A few scientists, including Kurzweil, suggest singularity will happen in 2045.
Programmers are programming themselves out of a job. But how soon would it be before programmers are considered obsolete? Wait a minute, is it happening already? If you turn on the news, you'll hear about all the tech layoffs that are taking place. Tens of thousands of people have already lost their jobs in the tech sector. Meta, aka Facebook, just announced that they're going to let go of a substantial part of their staff. And just the other day, Elon Musk laid off half of Twitter's workforce. So can all these layoffs be blamed on inflation and the upcoming recession? Or has there been a major breakthrough of artificial intelligence and programmers are no longer needed? I mean, think about it. Elon Musk also co-founded OpenAI, and Tesla is known for creating self-driving cars, and just a few weeks ago he debuted his humanoid robot. And one of his other projects is called Neuralink, which is an attempt to connect humans with artificial intelligence, or implanting a computer into our brains. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, go check it out. Check out Neuralink. But anyway, Neuralink is a topic for another video. But when it comes to programming and coding, everything is changing. I mean, it seems like almost yesterday that programming was something done by only a small portion of society. But today, millions of people are programmers, are developers, are software engineers. So now the question is, what does the future of programming look like? Especially when we start talking about no code, low code, and AI-generated code. Will these technologies make programmers obsolete? Before we dive into what no code, low code, and AI-generated code is, let's first talk about what is programming. And a very basic definition is programming is the process of creating instructions for a computer to process. We use programming languages to communicate with computers. High-level languages are easier for humans to understand, but take more time for a computer to work with. Low-level languages are easier for a computer to process, but it's harder for us to write and to read. And depending on how low-level the language is, it can be extremely difficult to try to get your application done. I mean, think about creating your software or your app in binary code. How hard would that be? All right, so what is no code? Think about a drag and drop interface or a WYSIWYG editor. The idea is that non-technical people will be able to create their software or their application without having to write a single line of code. All right, so now what is low code? Low code is more for developers and programmers. Instead of coding a custom application from scratch, you could use a low code solution that still involves coding, but provides you with a lot of the tools that you need to streamline your workflow. And this reminds me of something that Bill Gates said years ago, that he likes to hire lazy developers because they'll find a way to get the job done with less effort. And nowadays, think about it. We use libraries, we use frameworks, we use automation tools, we use package managers. We use a lot of tools that allow us to really get our jobs done faster. And that's where low-code solutions come into play. So now, what is AI-generated code? This can be considered a subset of low code, and we have a few examples of these. One of them is called Copilot, and it's by GitHub. The other one is called Code Whisperer, and it's by Amazon. And the basic idea with these AI code generators is that they work with natural language processing. You give it a set of instructions in regular spoken language, and it'll generate the code that you need. AI-generated code works with machine learning and deep learning. It uses GPT and OpenAI, which again is owned by Elon Musk. And Copilot and Code Whisperer has been trained on billions and billions of lines of code that's found on GitHub and other online platforms. Yes, all the code that we push up to these platforms, we're the ones training these AI bots. And OpenAI and GPT-3 has been used in a bunch of different fields. You've probably seen a bunch of advertising for using artificial intelligence to generate your blog content. You've probably seen in the news that artificial intelligence has been used to create artwork. AI can also be implemented to generate videos and is being heavily used in code generation as well. So it kind of sounds like artificial intelligence really is coming after all of our jobs. And the reality is, at some point in the future, that will be the case. The way that we normally function, all of our lives will change. And this is known as the Singularity. And at that point, programmers won't be the only ones out of a job. And that might be a good thing because that'll give us the opportunity to explore a different way to live. Maybe we won't have to work. But for the next decade or so, human programmers are still going to be heavily involved in the process of creating programs. And there's actually a good article from the US Department of Energy that says by the year 2040, computers will be able to write their own code. So I guess that's the point, that programmers will officially probably be out of a job. But that also means that for now, our jobs are safe. And the reason is because these solutions, they're still fairly new. They're in their infancy. There's still a lot of work that has to be done on these programs. And it's going to be a while before there's parity between the AI code generator programs and a team of human programmers. But for now, we have to remember that these are tools that we could use to help improve our workflow. And another thing to consider is the fact that the code that some of these AI code generators create is not original code. Remember, it's been trained on billions of lines of code that's already publicly available. It's not actually writing brand new code. So there might be bugs in that code and the way it operates with another piece of code. So even if you get a clean piece of code, a clean function, the way that function interacts with another function might cause a bug. And that's something that a team of programmers will have to review. And if you think about it, there's a lot of code inside of these no-code, low-code, and AI code generators. And that code is being written by people. Human programmers are needed in order to make those solutions and tools work. So right now, these tools are available for us to play with. You should definitely check out no-code solutions, low-code solutions, and AI-generated code. They might be very beneficial for your workflow. But while today you can consider them tools, soon they're going to be our partners. We'll work with artificial intelligence to create programs. We'll probably engage and have a back and forth conversation about what's the best approach to deal with the program. I mean, think about it. We have Siri, we have Alexa, and we can query Google for just about anything. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Iron Man, where Tony Stark is talking to Jarvis and having a conversation about how to deal with the situation. But then further down the line, it's possible that AI will end up being our bosses. Now, another thought entered my mind: the code masters. I mean, right now the biggest news is the fact that everyone's concerned about their privacy and a few big tech companies having all their private information. But it kind of looks like there's a movement in the tech industry to have just a few companies have the keys or the code to the kingdom. I mean, instead of a lot of companies creating their own custom solutions, you'll have a small number of companies that'll provide the code to the large number of companies out there. It might come to a point that we just don't know how to work with the code, and only a select few will actually understand it. But for now, our jobs are safe, and if you're just learning how to code, don't worry about it. There's still an industry for you to get into. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification, share your thoughts and comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching and happy coding.